partnership that once in a generation or once and forever, the town now has this extraordinary opportunity to actualize a cornerstone of a good society, protecting, your open space for this generation and future generations. We will have more information. Mr. Luddy and Amy Sarrow and members of our financial staff will go through the same type of financial analysis that we use to think about the impact of the new elementary school. We will have debt schedules, we will have the detail, we will think about ways to use the town's unique financial position to really ensure that these investments can be managed in a way that help continue the discipline and the strength of the town's financial position.
Thanks,
With
Sean.
that, I'm happy to...
Diane, can you stop the screen share, please? Or is it Sean? I don't know.
I can't.
Okay, great. All right, so thanks, Sean, and thank you, Peter, for all those details. So I think if board members want to speak to it, but I'd like to also go to public comment and answer any questions from the public. But if I want to respectfully, if other board members have something to say before we do that, I'm happy to give you that opportunity.
Sure. Just briefly, I want to thank my wife for letting me be here. Today's her birthday. It's a big birthday for her.
Happy birthday!
And she strongly suggested that I attend this meeting. I didn't want to disappoint the neighbors in the Foster Road area. The last few evenings, I've knocked on doors and I've met with dozens of neighbors, and been received with high fives, back slaps, and hugs from people who were once strangers and now friends. And I had conversations with many residents who thought the town would never go to bat for them and wouldn't stick up for them, and they were wrong. And if recent conversations were any indication, they were extremely happy to be wrong. And to those residents who support green space, this board and our previous select board heard you. We care, and we're doing something about it tonight. And I'm happy to be part of this initial conversation. And this is a forever acquisition, as stated previously. And this is going to help shape the future of our town in a positive manner for generations to come. This is why I ran for the board, not only to make difficult decisions, but to do big things and shape policy for generations to come. Good things are happening in town, and this is but one example. So I want to thank all of my neighbors and new friends for joining the conversation this evening. And back to my wife's birthday. We'll be celebrating her birthday until about mid-June. But I digress. So thank you all for showing up in person and on Zoom as well.
I just want to say something. It's pretty clear to any of you who saw me out trying to get to this seat tonight that open space is a big priority for me. And it literally makes me emotional. God, I don't know why that song, "You Pay Paradise to Put Up a Parking Lot," has been playing in my head constantly, and it's not frequent that you get to take down the parking lot and put paradise back. So I'm very proud to say that hopefully we will get there in this town. Sorry.
That's great. Thanks, Katie.
Good job. So I too want to wish Mrs. Grissman a happy birthday, and I'm sorry you had to send your husband up here tonight, but I do want to commend the past select board and Sean, and especially the Athenas family. It's a great moment.
Great, thanks everyone. I think with that, I welcome, if people have in the room want to comment publicly, then please come to the microphone. If you're on Zoom, then please raise your hand. People can reach me at my email, which is nduffy, DUFFY, @swampscottma.gov. So you can email me and I can read your public comment if you prefer to do that. And just please also, if you're here and on Zoom, please state your name and your address before you comment.
Can you hear me? My name is Patricia Maxine. I live at 23 Eureka Avenue, and I just want to thank every one of you for voting against that project that's been behind me. I've been fighting with every single project that's been going up there, because if you've never been on Eureka Avenue, could come down and see us. You can't get two cars going this way and that way, and they wanted to use that as access to Archer Street. And Mrs. Kulich, who originally owned all that property, had the road blasted back in 1980s, because I've been living on Eureka Avenue since 1981. And I can't say how happy I am that nothing is going to go behind me, because I have 2 lots of land, and it backs up the project, and I was going to get hit with everything. And again, I want to thank every one of you for your assistance in doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, please come down to the microphone. You can go ahead.
Hi, Jan DiPaolo, 30 Hillcrest Circle, and I would like to say first how thrilled I am that this is happening and that the Select Board is realizing that this quaint seaside community, as we all say that we are, is really just that. Instead of, I spoke out against the Elm Place project, not because it's affordable housing. I believe there's a need for it, but we still have to remember how small this community is. And so the size and scope of Elm Place is what really was the issue. So I would like to thank the Select Board, the Athanas family, for remembering that the people that live here came here. Your parents did, you did, whoever. Generations came to a small, quaint seaside community, and by taking the Hawthorne property, making it a park, seaside, welcoming, is just beyond words to me. So thank you. And again, I would really like to thank the Athanas family for remembering that they're Swampscott people, and some of the builders and developments, people that live in town, have forgotten that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paulo. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Joanne. I live at 44 Orchard Circle. I'm actually a new resident from the city of Somerville, so I first want to say that this purchase, this proposed purchase, is quite a different itemized vision than what was portrayed in the Union Square redevelopment plan. So I really commend your commitment to addressing the green space issue. One thing that I do have concern with is with regard to the parcel that is at the corner of Tedesco and Salem Street. The current proposal that was discussed today of being a 5-story building, I think one of the things that we get caught in a loop with is that affordable housing is synonymous with apartment complexes, and that being, the proposal being a 5-story complex is so stark in contrast to what is already existing, especially up against a golf course. I mean, you're just asking for a sterile, a horrible place to drive through. So I would encourage that we do consider not falling in the same kind of grouping of putting affordable housing at major intersections where they are susceptible to a lot of VOCs and emissions, and we really do look at some alternatives. Prior to this evening, I did think that the 4.5-acre place was a really perfect place for it, and that the Bayview apartment residences were actually well thought out and meshed very well with new development as far as it's concerned compared to what typically goes up these days. But I would encourage and implore the city or the town to work with that developer to find a better alternative, understanding that it obviously doesn't make sense to tear down a standing forest for the sake of affordable housing. But I do look forward to us finding alternatives, especially with the funding and the projection that has been presented tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I actually correct something that I made a mistake on? I just went back and looked at the language. It is 50 feet in height. It's not 5 floors. And if I've seen the plans, they are actually proposing 4 stories and 50 feet, which is no one's going, just to be clear, they wouldn't build 5 and 50 feet. That 5-story thing was an erroneous addition by me, but they are proposing 4 stories. Thanks.
We'll get that.
Thanks, and thanks for your comments. Welcome to town, and thanks for your thoughtful comments. I appreciate it. I think there's somebody in the back, and then I may take someone from Zoom. Uh-oh.
Says happy birthday.
Hello, I'm Reggie at 60 Foster Road. I abut the property that they wanted to develop, the 160 units, now 44 units. And I'm just, the whole neighborhood, like Dave Krishman shared, is like, we are so elated about what you all have done to make this decision to acquire these properties and make this green space. And like, we're just so excited that we already started planning our party for the summer. And I just want to thank you for all your hard work, all the hours. I know that you were meeting every single day. And I just really appreciate what you all have done. And I just got a little thing for you all. They're tangled up. Oh. Just to show our appreciation. Okay, let's see. We'll put one behind each of you.
Well, Reggie, thank you so much. I
Yeah,
mean, this
thank
is-
you. Thank you for brightening our meetings all the time.
Honestly, that's the nicest finger anybody's ever put up.
There's a different finger for you. I didn't know there was another finger.
I didn't even realize the hand could do that these days.
For those of you at home who can't see, it's
Right.
this,
Yeah.
Pointer
Yeah.
finger.
the pointer finger.
I'll just put this behind you.
We're rated PG-13, so. Right.
All right, so here's another one behind you.
So I'm gonna, while the balloons are being dispersed, I think I'll call on Aaron Burdoff on Zoom. If you could unmute Aaron.
Here, we could pass it down that way. You don't have to.
Hey, Aaron, are you?
Hello.
Hi, Aaron. Yep.
From Two Families. This is Aaron Burdock, 11 Juniper Road. I had 3 things to get out. One is a question, one's a context thing, and one's a big congratulations. So first, the question is probably for Peter. Just was the multifamily and the zoning around the 11 property, is that by rights, or does that still require a special permit?
Aaron, your question is, in the new zoning, is it as of right or require special permit? Is that your question?
Yes.
Yeah, so the answer is the approval process is consistent to what the 40R process would have been, which is just plan approval by the planning board. So in your vernacular, as of right.
Yeah. Yes. Perfect. Thank you. And then second, I just wanted to put our affordable housing needs in context. I think 17 units was the maximum proposed here, which is great. Any units is a positive development, certainly. By my rough calculation, I think we need about 270 units additionally in town, in addition to what the Elm Place will put in. So again, I just encourage the board to continue to consider big things we can do just in terms of zoning. You know, the question is always where will we put it? Infill is clearly the answer at this point. And then third, I really do want to congratulate the entire board and the previous board and all the town staff that worked on this, because this is a huge deal. I know it's not easy to put together in any means, and I know a lot of timelines had to converge perfectly. So I hope you don't get any negative comments about this, because I think everyone should be commended. Pats on the back, celebratory balloons, cakes, whatever you need is a wonderful plan. I wish you well on that. So thank you very much.
Aaron, thank you so much. I know what an incredible advocate you are for affordable housing, and I appreciate all those comments. And certainly, tonight it's about open space, but the focus will be on affordable housing for sure. And we hope to have nights like this with balloons to celebrate these types of initiatives in all these areas. So thanks again. And I think Ann Driscoll on Zoom. Hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann Driscoll, 2 Upland Road, Swampscott. I have a question and then a comment. My question is, I just want to be clear about the kind of zoning that's happening around the Glover property. Does that have anything to do with the housing choice district? Will that be a designated district for related to that legislation? Or is this a different kind of zoning?
So Ms. Driscoll, the answer is the planning board is going to take up that conversation, but I believe it's the planning board's intention to include these parcels in the 55 acres that they're going to make part of the A3. So I think this will all be part of that. But again, a small part, because this is only, in Swampscott, only 2-point-something acres of the 55 acres.
Great. Thank you very much. And my comment is, first of all, congratulations all the way around. I am so deeply grateful to everyone on this board, and I know that there have been many other players involved in making this happen, both on the part of the Athanas family and the developer, and it's really so satisfying to feel like I live on the side of town where most of the affordable housing is located, and I've been involved with the Swampscott Equity Association, and despite what some people may feel, nobody on that board is against affordable housing. So I'm really, really happy that you guys have both taken into account the need for more open space as well as the need for more affordable housing, and that there's equity in your approach to this. And I really appreciate the kind of thoughtful, deliberate planning and discussion that's been involved in executing both those goals, that in a town that's choking on its own congestion, that is the 4th most congested town in the state, more congested than Worcester, Springfield, New Bedford. We have a real, really wonderful plan in place to see to it that, this town has the kind of quality of life for everyone, in terms of open space, in terms of affordability. So thank you all for your efforts on to achieve that lofty goal.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks for joining us tonight. James Drumheller.
Hi, how you doing? Jim Drumheller, 5 Archer Street. I just really wanted to thank you guys. I'm right on the corner of Archer. I'm completely surrounded by the one property you're looking to purchase, and me and my family were really looking at this as our forever home. And it was really scary there for a minute, so I can't thank you enough for the effort and everything you've done. I'm assuming with this conversation, the last plan has been shot down. Is that correct?
What do you mean by shot down?
Did the state approve?
No. It's the application for eligibility is still with Mass Housing.
Okay.
So
and,
that
you guys have had more experience dealing with this property for a while. What do you believe your chances are of being able to purchase it from the group that owns it now?
I don't think I'm going to make any predictions on our chances. I think, as Peter mentioned earlier, we're going to make a best effort, and it starts. Sean's already planning meetings with the owners of the parcel and their attorneys, and that's where it starts, and we're just going to start having those conversations.
Mr. Drumheller, I'm going to say it a little bit differently. Neil's correct, but to repeat what I said earlier, our goal is to have a agreement with the property owners. That's always our goal, is to find common ground. But we are asking town meeting to give us the authority to buy the property, whether or not that there is agreement between the parties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, I appreciate that. Well, thank you for all your effort. That's all I had.
Thank you. Okay, I don't. Yeah. Tanya?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Lilick. I live at 26 Kings Beach Terrace, and I am the chair of the Open Space and Recreation Committee. And I can't say how happy I am to be here tonight to have this happen, how happy I was at town meeting the other night to have, you know, what we've been working so hard towards actually happen. We have been talking to the select board for quite some time about the importance of open space, and it is so amazing to hear, to know that you guys listen to us and you see the importance that we see, and just so thankful to you guys, and also thankful to the Athena's family for being so reasonable about what they have done for the town. I just wanted to, you know, say a few things about open space just to make sure that I think we all realize the importance of open space, but just a few things to think about going forward in terms of, you know, going to vote and that sort of thing. So, you know, open space in Swampscott, this is a letter that we wrote to the select board. Just a couple of things out of it. Open space in Swampscott is crucial for many reasons. For health, being able to exercise and recreate, to enjoy a sense of mental well-being, to breathe in fresh air, and to drink clean water. For the environment, protection from flooding, heat, and other climate change issues. For a sense of community and society, being with people in amongst trees, greenery, water, and instilling a strong sense of identity with the natural world. For financial reasons, to increase property values and reduce costs due to healthy residents living here, and for the simple beauty and distinctiveness that makes a town unique and special to residents. And just to, you know, touch on it a little bit, I know that some people really feel that development is the only way. This is the only way that we get money for the town through property taxes, and how could we, you know, just make something open space? But there's a lot of evidence out there that open space actually increases town's financial stability and its residents' stability. A few things that I had put together a presentation to the select board in 2019, a few things from that. New commercial and industrial development spurs residential growth, requires greater services for the population increase, requires greater infrastructure capabilities, increases traffic, crime, pollution, and noise, and contributes to the loss of community character and rural identity. So we really are taking the good steps forward here to not allow that to happen in terms of making sure that our identity is not lost, and that we are working towards open space as a financial gain as well. Another thing, although a community's purchase of open space removes that property from the tax rolls, over a short period of time, the property surrounding the preserved property, not just the abutting property, grows in value. This increase in valuation runs from 6% or more in the rural areas to as much as 40 to 50% in urban areas, and the increased value can affect homes as far away as half a mile from the preserved open space. So this makes it financial benefit from everyone, not just the open space and the health and that sort of thing. So, and then I just wanted to, you know, follow up that, you know, the Open Space and Recreation Committee, we've been talking about this since the 70s, even before there was a committee. There was a 1970 town document entitled Swampscott Environment Now or Never, and it raises all the same concerns that we have now that they had then. And it's really good to be able to move forward with this. The report emphasizes the importance of Swampscott's 4 mile of oceanfront frontage, noting that the town's priceless natural resources and its coastline should be available for use for the townspeople, insofar as possible, should be placed and preserved in public ownership, which is exactly what we're going to go ahead and do, which is amazing. And to echo further, in 1983, open space plan that recommended that any opportunity for further purchase of beachfront property be vigorously pursued. And lastly, in our most recent plan, the 2021 open space plan points out what separates this small, built-out suburban community, Swampscott, from so many others in Massachusetts is the 6,190 feet of accessible, viewable, wide-open oceanfront. The ocean adds another dimension to Swampscott's definition of open space, a true sense of vastness that meets the residents at the edge of town. The ocean is part of Swampscott's identity, so much that it is also taken for granted, often take it for granted that the spectacular views and ease of stepping onto sandy beaches will always be available. It is perhaps the constant prospect of redevelopment that puts it so at risk. So, all these things are coming together in terms of the Archer Road property and having nice wooded space and having trails and then having a seaside park that for generations to come, for people to see and for to be our pride and joy. I, again, can't thank the select board and everyone, and I'm really looking forward to the future of open space. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Thanks. I think I really appreciate you being here and sharing that with us. And just want to, I mentioned earlier that, this is sort of an over a year's long process and we were identifying and prioritizing parcels, but it wasn't as if we were starting from nowhere. I mean, the robust work of the open space and recreation in that plan was what we started with. I mean, that's where those ideas came from and all that work that you did. And I think that it's a good opportunity to just talk about how important it is to plan. I mean, these types of initiatives are in our master plan, and I think sometimes you hear folks say, the plan will just sit on the shelf, but the plans are not sitting on the shelf here. We're implementing them, we're taking action on them, both in the master plan, 2025 master plan, and the open space plan. But there's a lot of work on the front end that Tanya and a bunch of other people are doing that got us going really quickly on this. So thanks for coming and sharing all that information. I don't see anyone else on Zoom. I don't know if anyone else here.
Carol Schutzer.
Carol Schutzer on Zoom. Thanks.
Thank you very much. It's all so exciting to listen to these fabulous plans, and particularly, well, of course, the open space with the woods, and then along the ocean. As a longtime resident, I think it's absolutely thrilling. I just wonder, by some chance, will we as town meeting members get an opportunity to review the costs for all of this before, as town meeting members, we're going to be asked to vote on it? It's hard to know all the information if we show up that night, June 14th, Tuesday, without having some background information beforehand. So I'm just asking a question. If you could clarify that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, the answer to that is yes. As we mentioned earlier in the meeting, the beginning of those details of the costs and the financing will begin at a meeting next week, a joint meeting with the Select Board and FinCom and Capital Improvements that we're arranging currently. But then, and those details will come out probably there for the first time, and then I think will be available to town meeting members and to the public. As mentioned, similarly to with the school project in terms of how we propose it.
Is it possible for the moderator to send that information to town meeting members so we could have an opportunity to review it?
Mrs. Schutzer, I think the moderator's intention is going to, his hand just raised, and I'm going to take his thunder. I'm sure he's going to do office hours, like he does for other town meetings, and also make sure that you have all the information that we've reviewed in advance of town meeting.
Fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we don't have any other hands raised. I don't have anything else on email. Peter, I think you have a motion.
I do. I have a couple of motions. The first motion I'd make is a motion for the Select Board to enter into an escrow agreement dated as of May 16, 2022, by and among Anthony's Hawthorne, Inc., Triton Atlantic LLC, Sunbeam Development Limited Partnership, the Town of Swampscott, Leggett McCall Properties LLC, and First American Title Insurance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
The second motion I have is for the Swampscott Select Board to enter into the purchase and sale agreement dated as of May 13th by and between Joyce M. Haas and the Town of Swampscott relating to plus or minus 5.033 acres, Assessors Tax Map 7-1-0.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great. We don't have select board time on our agenda.
I do have something if
Yeah, absolutely.
if that's
Please
okay.
do, yep.
So I don't know if, how many of you know that there is a current baby formula crisis happening in the United States? And a local mom, Keiko Zoll, has sort of taken the charge to make freeformulaexchange.com, which is a website which links those who have availability to formula to those who have the need for formula without any cost. And she's reached many states, if not just the Commonwealth, and she's really trying to link the need to the availability. It's an amazing feat that she's accomplished in not that long of a time. And I just would like to point everybody to that website. Again, it's freeformulaexchange.com. And it's also linked on the town Facebook page. So if you would like to access either in the form of donation or having a need, please go ahead and point yourself in that direction. Just want to say thank you to her. And if those of you can take a look and donate, that would be awesome.
Great. No, thanks for bringing that up. Anyone else? Okay, so just as a reminder, the special town meeting will be Tuesday, June 14th. That's the date. Tuesday, June 14th is when the special town meeting will be, and I'm sure the moderator will communicate with all town meeting members. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.